Hi Jeff, how you doing? My name is Mick. This is the sign that you wanted to show that it is our video. So my CRKT knife collection is very small. It's just two knives, but it's two knives that I really enjoy. And just because I only have two knives doesn't mean that I don't like the company. I mean, I've seen a lot of their stuff. The Fossil is a gorgeous knife. That new knife, the Obaki, the fixed blade one that you can tie to your belt loop and pull the sheath out, that genius. I mean, I don't know if Lucas Burnley came up with that or if it was just kind of a thing that I didn't know about, but that's a great idea. So my collection started when I would say I was about 11. I got my first knife. It was at a store in Missouri. It was a case knife. It has a camo handle. I don't think it's G10, because it was on the cheaper side. It was like a $20 knife, but it was a great knife. It was a case knife, lockback. I mean, I love that knife. I still have it today. I still carry it a lot. It doesn't have a pocket clip, so it has fallen either to as a backup blade or just a lower part of my rotation if I'm going to somewhere where I don't need a big knife. But I mean, that thing went everywhere with me when I was little. I mean, I didn't take it to school, but anywhere I could take it, I had it. And anybody that I could show, I showed. I mean, I just loved that knife. And from there, my collection grew, It started, then I got a knife for my grandpa. Bought a couple knives at a local festival. Then it just started growing. Ordered some knives online, got them for Christmas, birthday, whatever it was. And then finally, I decided I was ready to get a name brand knife. And I jumped in probably a little headstrong. Most people probably either started with like a Kershaw or something, not extremely expensive. And I started with the Spyderco Tenacious. And I mean, I know that's not a $100 knife. I probably overpaid for it a little bit. I paid $60 at a Bass Pro Shop. But I mean, a knife was my baby, and it still kind of is. I mean, I use it, but I don't do hard work with it. I do take care of it. I mean, I take care of all my knives, whether it's the Spydercos or my CRKTs or my off-brand Chinese ones. I take care of them. I have a case like you had that your Balisong collection was in. I have some in there. Actually, I have two of those, a little one and a big one. And then I have a Plano extra large gun accessory case that has the customizable foam that I put some of my favorites or more expensive ones in. So, let me go ahead and show you my collection here. The first knife in my CRKT collection is the folding Razel, designed by Graham Knives. It's a great knife, It's got the chisel point. I don't think it has a chisel ground, if I remember correctly. I'm not the best with knife. Chisel grind. What am I saying? Chisel ground. I think it has a hollow grind. Is what? I don't know. Don't quote me on that. I'm not the best with grinds. I'm learning them. It's a very good knife. It is it's a liner lock. It's got the manual lock system right here with some pretty good jimping. It really locks your thumb in place, especially with the locks, because they put some jimping on the actual locks. So that holds it down. It's got these two big grooved thumb studs. That probably isn't going to focus. I don't know. But I mean, they're pretty good. Makes it ambidextrous. You can only carry it tip down, although you wouldn't, I guess, chisel down. There's no need to make this tip up. It's not a tactical knife, and truly, you don't need to make a lot of knives. I mean, truly, it's preference, but tip up is more like, I guess, if you have the wave feature, that's when you'd need that. But it is right hand carry only. It's got micarta scales. So that is the first one. Oops. The second one in my collection is the Combo Edge folding Razel. Same deal. Locks, jimping, thumb studs, micarta handles. This one does have the tail clip right here. That is good. It's not the sturdiest on this knife. It does have some problems. It wiggles, but it's not like it's going to fall out. And this one, I'm sure as you saw, has the ref serrations. So, let me tell you the backstory here. First time I ever saw this knife was in a knife review done by X-Acto, and I thought it was a really, really cool knife. I wanted one. So I thought, in the next couple of days I'm going to see about getting this knife. So waited around a little bit, and I don't know, at the time that X-Acto video was probably about a year old, I would say. Maybe a little less, but turns out a couple days later, Chris over at Prepared Mind 101 posted a review of his folding razor, and he just raved about it, and that made me want the knife even more. I feel like he has a lot of good opinions about it, and I seem to really follow his opinions. It seems like we have very same styles. So I was pretty excited. And of course I looked to see if you had one, because that would have been sweet, because that probably would have made me want it even more, but you didn't. So, that's no big deal, But so I'm like, okay, I have to get this knife. So I showed it to my mom, and I'm like, Mom, I really, really want this knife. And the first one that I found was the straight edge. So I showed it to her, and she's like, okay, if you have the money, you can get it. So I was really pumped. And then I scrolled down a little bit, and there was the combo edge. And at the time, I'd seen a lot of CRKT products, but I guess I hadn't seen any that had the VEF serrations. And these just rocked my world. They were awesome. And I know a lot of people don't like them because they do come to such a fine point that they think it's gonna chip them. And they do chip. Mine haven't, and I have used the combo edge the most out of both of them. I've carried both of them, used both of them. So I showed the combo version to my mom too, and she's like, fine, if you pay for one, the other one will be a gift. So that's what we did. The first one that got to my house happened to be the combo edge, and that's the one that I paid for. I think it was like $25, 28 maybe with shipping. Same price, close to it for the straight edge. So I was really, really excited. And there are some problems with the knife. It is a cheaper knife. I guess it wasn't a very popular knife, because by the time I went to find it, CRKT had already discontinued it, and had to find it on eBay. But I did, and there were a lot of them. CRKT listed it at an MSRP of $50. So it probably sold for $25, $30. Not the most expensive knife in the world. So it does have some fit and finish problems. There's a couple spots where the micarta doesn't quite... Excuse me, I'm sorry. There's a couple spots where the scales don't quite match up with the frame of the knife, and where some of the holes for like the screws and maybe the lanyard, they're not quite milled cleanly. They got a rough spot here or there. But overall, it is a great knife. It serves a great purpose. As a utility knife. It's not meant to be tactical. I don't think any of the razors are necessarily meant to be tactical. You could use them if you had to. It's a weapon. It'll always function as that if you need it to. More for a slashing. You're not going to be able to stab somebody with this, but hopefully you'd never need to. So my CRKT collection, like I said, is small, and the reason behind that is I am a high school student, and it's hard when you're a high school student to buy knives, because you have a limited source of money, whether it's from your birthday, Christmas, maybe you do some jobs for your family, around the house, whatever it is. It's not like I'm walking around with $100 bills. So I can justify buying folders a lot better than I can fixed blades, and I can justify buying the cheaper ones. One, because I'm not afraid I'm going to damage them, and two, because they are cheaper. I know they're not nearly as good quality, but it's easier on the bank. You're not breaking it. So I saw your video with Ben at the CRKT booth, and the Fossil just blew me away. So I went and looked online, even though I knew they said that they hadn't put it up for sale yet, and the MSRP was $100. And that really kind of bummed me out, because I can't spend $100 on a knife, as much as I want to. And I mean, if I am, I'm probably going to go up to like some sort of Spyderco. But, you know, I saw that, and then, you know, a couple days later they came out for sale, and they were still around $60. So, you know, I got a little excited. You know, that was going to be something I could afford. It might take me, you know, a couple of weeks to save it, but it's something I could have gotten. And then I saw your contest video, and I mean, I think that was just a genius contest idea. It should go to someone who loves CRKT and who would appreciate the knife. And I mean, personally, I think CRKT is a great company. Like I said, they got a lot of great products. You know, the Fossil is just such a gorgeous knife that even in the first place, I would struggle with using it. It would be as close to a Grail knife as you could get without being a Grail knife. I would really have to convince myself to use it. And the fact that it has Flavio Icoma's signature on it just blows me away. That man should be in a Knife Hall of Fame. And if there isn't a Knife Hall of Fame, there needs to be one. They need to make that. Like, knife designers, knife makers, knife innovators, great knives. There should be one of those. But I couldn't risk messing up his signature. Flavio Icoma signature is on that blade. I mean, it's just mind-blowing, to say the least. So, even though you said that it is dremeled on, and it probably has a protective coating over it, I would be way too afraid to mess it up. So, it would turn that into like an above and beyond Grail knife for me. So, you know, it would just be a great thing. But, you know, I get why it should go to somebody that loves CRKT, because it should not go to somebody that's going to beat it and lose it and mess up that signature. That would be horrible. So, you know, I guess this is my CRKT knife collection, and thanks for watching, Jeff, and good luck.